Imagine freedom. Can you imagine freedom? No. Because to imagine freedom, one must first know captivity. Not having the ability to move at will, to speak at will, to read a book or just be still at will, to have no control over your own voice, yet expected to act as if it's your own choice, to be enslaved by another, to watch in horror the mistreatment of sisters, mothers, brothers, to see your father torn from his home, put up for sale on a block, and just like that, gone. Just the thought of freedom was a risk to be beaten. And to take a step towards freedom, by hounds you'd be eaten, crisscrossed backs with wounds of hate so deep blood would seep like juice from a plate, raw feet like oysters on a half shell, flesh torn from the bones, callous hands, broken spirits, standing with many, still feeling alone. This was the way for those enslaved. Tears through the years of oppression. And this is why Juneteenth is important. It's part of our history lesson. So I ask again, can you imagine freedom? The multitude of its bliss? I cannot lie, I've tried and I've cried, 'cause I bet it went something like this. Dear God, I have lost count of the days we have heard the news of freedom ringing across the lands. It gives us comfort in knowing that in other states there's no more enslaved Africans. But here in this place of hate and oppression, it's hard to keep hope alive. For we're still in prison, bound to our masters, praying they all would just die by your hand. For what gives them the right to own other men? Our oppressors tried to keep us from knowing that President Lincoln took use of his station and signed into law on January 1 the Emancipation Proclamation. This is to free all slaves in Confederate states. We here, then why are we here? Still fearing for our lives. That was 1863. It is now 1865. When will our saviors arrive? I pray to you to send help, dear Lord. Not sure how much more we can stand. 200,000 of us enslaved here in Texas, feeling forgotten again. Jesus, oh Jesus. As I walk through the camps of death, decay, and starvation, I fall to my knees at the sight of Union soldiers riding to deliver our declaration. I get up at the thump of horse stampedes. They're here! They're here! I alert all the other. It's time, finally our time to be freed. I have come to a halt. I stand with much anticipation. Amongst thousands of people, a pin dropping would sound like your 7 golden trumpets. He's about to speak. Shh. Hear ye, hear ye. It is so written. Can you close your eyes just for a moment and imagine how they must have felt to be given the chance for a brand new life instead of the one they were dealt? And once their new truths were written and they were slaves no more, I'm sure they were reminded of the Feast of Freedom, lamb blood over the Jewish doors, Passover, commemorating the exodus from Egypt when the Lord set his people free. Ears tuning into the hymns, praising Jesus Christ, whose life's divine, gathering to unify in love with the expectations of better times ahead, but not forgetting the feast, the blood that was shed, honored by food that was red. Today marks 160 years since the first June 19th celebration amongst once captured men and women. I believe they danced in the roaring sounds of boisterous cries of joy and pain, which makes today's contribution just as important, because freedom must continue to reign.